Hello. So last class I discussed about the back propagation algorithm in detail. I hope you understood the concepts. So in today's class, uh, let me discuss some of the remarks on the back propagation algorithm. So this is what the remaining bit in this module. So with this, I am going to complete this third module, that is artificial neural network. So if you look into the back propagation algorithm, of course there are some remarks that you can say. So the remarks on the backpropagation algorithm are: first one is convergence and local minima. Here the backpropagation multilayer networks is only guaranteed to converge towards some local minimum in capital E and not necessarily to the global minimum error. So this way I already understood this point. This I have covered while I was discussing the backpropagation algorithm. It means that the backpropagation multilayer network, it will guarantee about only converging towards some local minimum in capital E, but not necessarily to the global minimum error. Means it can able to guarantee, means it can able to converge only the local minimum, that is small amount of error you can say, but not across the global. So in this, the second point is despite the lack of assured convergence to the global minimum error, here the backpropagation is a highly effective function approximation method in practice. Of course, you can say that first and second points are correlated here. As I told, backpropagation multi-layer network will guarantee about converging towards only the local minimum in E. So it is a bit lack of assuring about converging to the global minimum error. So the backpropagation is highly effective function approximation method in practice. Then third one is local minima can be gained by considering the manner in which the network weights evolve as the number of training iterations increases. So convergence and local minima is one of the remark that you can say. Here the common heuristics to attempt to alleviate the problem of local minima include, or you can say that these are what some methods to overcome the problem of local minima. So these heuristics include adding a momentum term to the weight update rule so that the momentum can sometimes carry the gradient descent procedure to narrow the local minima. Second point is use the stochastic gradient descent rather than the true gradient descent. So this we understood in the previous class. So instead of using the true gradient descent or original gradient descent, so it is better to use stochastic gradient descent so that it will overcome the problem of local minimum. Third one is train the multiple networks using the same data but initializing each network with different random weights. So this will also help in reducing the problem of local minimum. So these are what the one of the remark, that is convergence and local minima. And these are what some heuristics to overcome the problem of local minimum. The next remark is a representational power of feed forward networks. Here there is a question, that is what set of functions can be represented by the feed forward networks. So the answer to this question, it depends on the width and depth of the networks. There are three quite general results that are known about which function classes can be described by which types of networks. So here you can see three concepts. One is the Boolean functions. So every Boolean function can be represented exactly by some network with the two layers of units, although the number of hidden units required grows exponentially in the worst case with the number of network inputs. Next one is continuous functions. So every bounded continuous function can be approximated with arbitrarily a small error by network with two layers of inputs. The next one is arbitrary functions. So any function can be approximated to arbitrary accuracy by a network with three layers of units. So these are what the set of functions which can be represented by feed forward networks. The next remark is hypothesis space search and inductive bias. So hypothesis space is the n-dimensional Euclidean space of n network weights, and the hypothesis space is continuous. So you already know what is meant by hypothesis space and all. So hypothesis space is a n-dimensional Euclidean space of n network weights, and hypothesis space is continuous. So as it is continuous, so capital E is differentiable with respect to the continuous parameter of the hypothesis, and the results in a well-defined error gradient that provides a very useful structure for organizing the search for the best hypothesis. Here it is difficult to characterize precisely the inductive bias of propagation algorithm because it depends on the interplay between the gradient descent search and the way in which the weight space spans the space of representable functions. However, one can roughly characterize it as the smooth interpolation between the data points. So this is also considered as a remark here, that is hypothesis space search and inductive bias. Next is hidden layer representations. So this we know already. So backpropagation can define the new hidden layer features that are not explicit in the input representation, but which will capture the properties of input instances that are most relevant to learning the target. Now consider an example of a network consisting of hidden layer. So here you can see this is the input layer which consists of inputs units, output layer consisting of output units, and this middle part represent the hidden layer, right? So these are what the learned hidden layer representations. So this is the representation of input or input representation in terms of bits, output representation, and these are what the representation of hidden layer, or these are what the hidden values, which are in terms of decimals, as you can say. Now, as I have considered the training the network, which is shown here, now consider training of this network to learn the simple target function f of x is equal to x, where x is a vector which is containing 7 zeros and single 1. Here, the network must learn to reproduce the 8 inputs at the corresponding 8 output units. Although this is a simple function, the network in this case is constrained to use only 3 hidden units. Therefore, the essential information from all 8 input units must be captured by 3 learned hidden units. So when the backpropagation is applied to this task, so using each of the 8 possible vectors as a training examples, it successfully learns the target function. By examining the hidden unit values generated by the learned network for each of the 8 possible input vectors, it is easy to see that the learned encoding is similar to the familiar standard binary encoding of 8 values using 3 bits like this 000 001 10010 and so on up to 111. Here the exact values of the hidden units for one typical run, which is shown in this figure. So this ability of multi-layer networks to automatically discover the useful representation at the hidden layers is a key feature of ANN learning, that is artificial neural network learning. Next one is generalization, overfitting, and support criteria. So with respect to this, the question is what is an appropriate condition for terminating the weight update loop? We know already what is weight update loop and all. So what is an appropriate condition for terminating the weight update loop? So for this, one choice is to continue training until the error E on the training examples falls below some predetermined threshold. Next is to see the dangers of minimizing the error over training data. Now consider how the error E varies with the number of weight iterations. So these are what some appropriate condition for terminating the weight update rule. So this is also considered as a remark here with respect to back propagation, that is generalization, overfitting, and supporting criteria. So this is an illustration of a number of weight updates with respect to error. So here see you see error versus weight update, how exactly the error or error rate is going to vary with respect to the number of weight updates. Here this dot indicate training set error, whereas the plus indicate the validation set error. So this is one more example, one more illustration of error versus weight updates. So these two graphs have shown how exactly the error is going to vary with respect to number of weight updates. Here now consider, means first consider the top plot in this figure. The lower of the two lines shows monotonically decreasing the error over the training set. As the number of gradient descent iterations grows, means as the number of gradient descent iterations grows, then the error will decrease monotonically over the training set. The upper line shows the error which is measured over a different validation set of examples, which is distinct from the training examples. So this line measure the generalization accuracy of the network, the accuracy with which it fits the examples beyond the training data. Here, the generalization accuracy measured over the validation examples, first it decreases, then it increases, even as the error over the training examples continues to decrease. So, how can this error occur, or how can this occur? So, this occurs because the weights are being tuned to fit idiosyncrasies of the training examples that are not representative of the general distribution of examples. So the large number of weights parameter in ANNs provide many decreases freedom for fitting such idiosyncrasies. So this is about this remark. So why does overfitting tend to occur during the later iterations but not during the earlier iterations? For this, the answer is by giving enough weight tuning iterations, back propagation will often be able to create overly complex decision surfaces that fit noise in the training data or unrepresentative characteristics of a particular training sample. So these are about some of the remarks on the back propagation. So this is in detail about the back propagation algorithm, derivation of back propagation rule, and finally the remarks on back propagation algorithm. So this completes your third module, that is the artificial neural network. So if you have any queries in this third module, so let us discuss those queries in the next class. Thank you.